My name is Catherine Stahl, and I live in Springs. And we have formed an indivisible group called People for Democracy East Hampton. And today we're having a speak out of folks that want to share information about how everything this administration has done recently has impacted us, our fears for democracy, our support for democracy and the rule of law and the Constitution. And then we're having another event on June 14th, and that's No King's Day. We are today going to have people speak about their experiences, and then we go to Patago Road and we hold up signs, honk for democracy, and we've done it 3 times before, and people enjoy getting together with their neighbors and feeling like we're not alone in this process. I think that's one of the strongest feelings we have is we don't want anybody to feel alone, and we encourage people to come out for our next event on June 14th at Town Hall, in front of Town Hall, which will be held from 11 to 1.
Sync. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Barbara Burnside. I'm one of the founding people of this little group called People for Democracy. We're having a demonstration this morning in support of democracy, trying to make a foundation for all of us with differing opinions and differing political stripes to get together and figure out how to keep our democracy strong and safe so we can speak freely and listen to each other.
I'm Paul Gartside. I'm Canadian. What am I doing here? I'm here because my kids are American and because I've always believed in the promise of America. I grew up in Europe. We looked to America as the beacon of hope and freedom during the Cold War years when we were all scared to death. And here I am, and what is happening to the country and the values that we treasured in America. So the great thing about these demos is you get up and you do something about it. And it's a great morale lifter to find you're not alone, that there are hundreds of people feeling the same way. That's why I'm here.
You don't have to be okay on those dark and lonely days. Russia ran through your heart. Sometimes things can fall apart just because you sneak a tears or you entertain your fears. It don't mean that you are weak. You are honest when you speak. You know you are strong, even when the road feels too long.
Thank you all for coming. We didn't have any idea how many folks would actually come today. We didn't have very many sign-ups, but you never know. Sometimes we have 50 sign-ups and 300 people, or 100 sign-ups and 200 people, so it's very hard to tell. But anyway, we've had about 30 people sign up, and it looks like you're all here. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I want to thank the town for making us welcome. Yes, big hand to the town, saying thank you. This is an expressive activity, meaning we're exercising our First Amendment rights. But the town doesn't have to be welcoming, and they are. They're very welcoming and very supportive, and I'm so grateful. Also very thankful for the police presence, putting up barricades for us, even though we don't know if we're going to need them today or not. I really appreciate that. My name's Barbara Burnside. I've probably corresponded with each of your women over the last few weeks. And our brand new organization is called People for Democracy. The founding members are Catherine Stalls and Beth Meredith. We're a new Beth right there. And me and my better half, Paul Gartside, Uncle Sam, Paul McIsaac, Nigel, our cameraman, and Fred, another cameraman, our other cameraman. Thank you so much.
Okay. We would like to begin our day with a reading from the Constitution. Are you nearby, Kate? Can you do that?
One behind.
Okay, it's okay.
Would you like yes. No, I'm good. Can everyone hear me? Because I have a very loud voice, so I don't want to blow out people's ear nose. So I like to read portions of the Constitution. I think maybe next time I'll read the Declaration of Independence parts, because the grievances that were set against the king seem to have become a checklist of rules to break. And this is why we formed this union. So I want the idea of people who are pro-democracy and anti-kings to resonate, that we are protecting our democracy. We are patriots standing here. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves, our posterity. In order to establish it, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Section 9. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States. No person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept any present, emolument, office, or title of any kind whatsoever from any king, prince, or foreign state. This is what we're fighting for, what we were created for. Right now.
Thank you, Shay. Easy to have that French was open. Okay, I have some announcements. First of all, I'd like to call your attention to the Beacon Project. That is a nationwide project where people get together and demonstrate with whatever signs they have, whatever is important to them, every week. And here in East Hampton, it happens by the Hook Mill, 7 to 7:30 every Thursday. Okay? Alison Polinius is the person who's heading that, and they're very devoted and reliable, and they would love to have you come and stand with them for half an hour if you feel like it, or honk, or go out of your way to go by them and honk. But they give us a chance to make a new sign if something awful has happened, and we can't wait for the next 3 weeks to have another protest. There's there every single week. Okay, I'd also like to call your attention to the table run by the League of Women Voters over here. Voting is so important in our democracy. It is absolutely essential. And their purpose, the reason they exist is to make sure that that we all know what our rights are, help with voter registration. They have other services too. They can tell you, if you go and talk to them, tell you about what else the League can do, what the websites are available, and information you can get to make sure you vote, you're registered to vote, you're registered where you want to be registered to vote. Sometimes if you move around and the change of address thing doesn't get caught up with you, you may lose your registration after a while. So go check with them. They can help you figure out if you are still registered to vote. You see a few of us wearing yellow vests. Our job is to make sure, we're the peacekeepers. Our job is to make sure people stay off the road, don't get hit by a car. I don't think that's going to be a problem today, but it may be more of an issue next week, next demonstration on the 14th. And we are expecting a lot more people on the 14th. So if you would be interested in wearing a vest and helping us keep the crowds back from the road, that would be fabulous. If you could talk to one of us, Catherine or me, so that we can get you set up for that next time. This is spring. It is tick season. We are on grass, and there's some bug spray over yonder if you haven't sprayed your feet before. So that's there for you. We have some really exciting news about sources of information. You probably are all aware of Substack. It's a platform for websites, and it's a place where people can put news out that does not require a billionaire to pay for it. Many people from the Washington Post started their own websites on Substack. Jen Rubin is one. She does The Contrarian. Jen Rubin also has a regular weekly feature where we can send her pictures of our demonstrations, and they'll publish it on their website nationwide. There are others really good sources on that Substack platform. You can find out about law, about the Constitution, about the coaling. Different people who have a lot of expertise can write regularly and help us. There's a lot of garbage on there, of course, but you can. All of the websites are free to start with, and if you like what they say, if you feel they're worthwhile and trustworthy, you can subscribe to them. Another one, a really exciting one that we just discovered, is called Ground News. It is a summary website where they take the headlines from the week and look at all the different sources that have published news about that particular event. And they use other sources to rate the bias of the different news outlets and also the factual history, how often they are factual. So if you want to find out about one particular thing that happened, you find that headline and then you say, okay, I want to read from the center about that. Or I want to read what the right is saying or what the left is saying. And then you choose what kind of level of factedness you want to read. And then you ask those filters to be applied. And then you know what you're getting. You know if it's trustworthy or not. I find that incredibly comforting. If you signed up for this event, you will get a little survey at the end saying, please give us your feedback. We would really love it if you would fill that out and tell us, especially how often do you think these events are useful? Okay. And I also want to talk to you a little bit about our January 4th event. The format is similar. We'll probably, if we get the music.
January 4th. Hoping for the midterms to come fast.
I think I might be a little bit braided. Sorry, boss. June 14th. Yes. Flag Day. There'll be lots of flags. We'll be reclaiming the American flag. So the general format is the same, but we have a lot more people signed up for it already. Usually with these events and the Mobilize US service, we get the most sign-ups right before the event happens, but we've already got 100 and it's 2 weeks out yet. So I think it will be quite large. So please come. And we still don't have toilets, so be prepared. And we would love to see you. Okay. So now I would like to give a little description of our purpose, the People for Democracy purpose. There's been so much craziness since January 20th. And there's a great deal to protest. It's been horrifying. It's been terrifying. A lot of us have been silent for a long time, and that just makes it worse. Our purpose, although is to make signs that don't blow away completely. Our purpose is to support democracy. I hope that you folks here include a really wide selection of people who support democracy for different reasons. I hope we're not all completely of one accord. What I hope is that the reason I'm doing it with the focus on democracy rather than parties is that democracies can serve all of us, whatever our beliefs. We can solve these things together. We need everybody. No matter who we voted for, no matter who we plan to vote for, let's keep our governmental structures strong so we can solve these problems together. I want to return to a world where dear friends can hold wildly different opinions with gentleness and respect. I want to take for granted that I edit my language because I don't want to fight with somebody, but that I'm legally free to say whatever I think. I refuse to let some little ghoul throw me or anybody into a foreign concentration camp for saying the wrong thing in order to meet his quota of deportations for the day. It's really hard to swear on that one, Lies. I want to know that no one is above the law, that our courts, our laws, our systems of checks and balances are holding. I want to know that dictatorship does not fly in America. So in order to keep the focus on democracy and to be a place where any party supporting democracy is welcome, we haven't endorsed partisan messages. We haven't signed on 100% to the list of things that are part of the agenda for the No Kings demonstrations on the 14th. But that doesn't mean this particular group is not doing that, but welcome to anyone who wants to, please. In your signs, you can say anything you want. We have no idea how long we will need to push back against these assaults on democracy. It could be a sprint, or a marathon, or a long, long relay. We need to give this all we can, each of us, in our own way, in ways that we can sustain until democracy is safe again. We need to support each other while we do it. When we have a demonstration like this, we're speaking out to anyone who might be listening or watching or reading later, but mostly we're reaching out to each other. The government has power because we allow it. We can speak and gather together to share our courage, reclaim our community, support and protect each other. We are the people. Okay.
Hey, one more time.
We are the people. All right. Is Paloma here now? Paloma, okay. Paloma is representing another indivisible group from Up Island, and I'll leave her to introduce herself. I just wanted to say we didn't want because of the partisanship twitchiness that I have, but go for it.
Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. I am really at back. Sorry, 1 second. Thanks for coming out today in defense of democracy and for giving me the opportunity to speak. I just wanted to touch on some issues that kind of mobilized me and a couple other Up Islanders. We formed Assemble Long Island. I'm not sure if you've heard of us, but we are a human rights activist group founded in early February. We're a great example of how a small effort can evolve into an impactful one. I posted a message on a subreddit and connected with people on Long Island. And by April, we held our first action. And 200 people were supposed to show up, and we actually had over almost 3,000. So, no small effort is, every effort is worthwhile. So even if you don't have the numbers, every single time you leave the house, every time that you speak up for what's right, like you're doing today, bravo. So, sorry, 1 second. I'm a little bit nervous. Right. So, I just wanted to promote our event that we're helping co-host with 21 other organizations in Southampton. So, we will be having a march. It's going to be called March on Billionaires Lane. It's going to be hosted on Meadow Lane, and we're going to have quite a few speakers. Like I said, there are 21 groups, well, actually 22, including Assemble, that are officially endorsing this action. So we will be having multiple speakers, we'll be having a march, some chants, and some serious demands from the billionaires that are truly in power of our country. So I'd like you to join us all. It starts at 2 o'clock, so since you're already going to be mobilized, I'm assuming you'll be here in East Hampton waving your signs. Head on over to Meadow Lane in Southampton at 2 p.m. if you'd like, and join Assemble. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So we'd love to see you there. And I have some flyers as well I could distribute to you, and you can share them with as many friends as possible. And thank you again for always fighting for democracy.
To come at this time and speak at this time so you'd have time to talk to each other and carpool or whatever and make plans for cheat seats so you go on to Southampton after you finish here and watch it. The talk. Their event is at 2. We are finished at 1. Bro. Way the home from 12, so you can go and you can arrange it, but we wanted to give you time to sort that out with traffic being the way it is. Yes. Okay. So now the mic belongs to all of you. If we would like to hear from as many folks as want to speak about how these things that have changed have affected you in particular. We have lots of opinions. We have predictions, all of that stuff, but talk to us about how these changes have affected you?
Yes, and the new organization, People for Democracy, and also to our wonderful musician. Well, when I come to the rallies, and sometimes I hear different comments, and the last time someone said, "This doesn't affect me," and I said, "Wow, how does it not affect me if I hear of an immigrant who was taken off in the middle of the night and put in prison in El Salvador? How does it not affect me when I hear of trans people who suddenly can't leave the country because their passport has to be changed to a different gender? How does it not affect me when I hear of a woman who bled to death because she had a miscarriage in Texas and she wasn't treated? No, I'm not going to have an abortion right now. I'm 64 years old. No, I am legally in this country. Hopefully I won't get carted off to jail without due process. No, I am not LGBTQ. It affects me. It affects me because I'm a human being and I have empathy for other humans and I care. And all of these examples I just gave are examples of how our democracy is undermined, where we don't have due process anymore. It affects my sense of safety. Sometimes I can't sleep at night because I'm afraid if I speak out, I'll be carted off to jail one day. I have never had that feeling in this country. It affects me because I care about younger people. Thank you. And I made 14 social justice posters, which I sell, and I donate half the proceeds to a related organization like Planned Parenthood or NAACP. And I think it's a time for artists to step up and sell work to support our democracy, just like Picasso did when he created Guernica.
All right, my name is Conrad Jordan, and I share a law practice just down the road with my wife, Diane LaVerriere. Her practice is mainly centered here. Mine is split largely in the city. I'm a trial lawyer. I'm a civil trial lawyer. And one of the ways the administration has affected me is the feeling that the rule of law is under attack like it's never been before. And if there's anything as fundamental as the attack on democracy, it's the attack on truth itself. And that's what I think has been going on. If you look at all the targets of the administration, it's science, it's our most renowned colleges, it's the media, it's the judges and the courts, all where the focus is on truth. And, I have a sign here. It says, "Stop the Madness." There's a music video that goes with this. My wife is a lawyer by day and a rock star at night. So she sang this song. I'm not going to promote it. I've also done some raps that I've performed, and one of them touches on a subject, and it starts out, because I rhyme, "When you hear worst of the worst, think about stop the steal first." And I want everybody, because you hear a lot of disinformation coming to try to justify what's been going on with these deportations, but think back to stop the steal. Think back to how the people that were doing the accusing were the only ones where there was any evidence of actual criminality. You heard the recording, "Find me votes." You heard the recording, "Fight like hell." There were fake slates of electors. There was pressuring Pence not to certify. The whole time they were saying it was stolen. There was voter fraud. Problem is, they went to court, and even Trump-appointed judges wouldn't accept it because there was no evidence. That's exactly what's going on now. There is a reason why they rushed those immigrants onto planes where a court was right about to rule that they shouldn't be flown down there. Now, if you look at what's going on, the woman yanked off the street by people in masks, that's what criminals do. Criminals try to stay one step ahead of the law. And it's basic common sense and basic in our legal system that when people try to hide evidence, it's because it's not good for them. So the reason they're rushing people onto planes is because they don't have any proof they're the worst of the worst. If they really did terrible things, mutilations, raping children, there's a rap sheet, there's a certificate of conviction. Or at the very least, there's an arrest report, there's witness statements. If they had that, what a coup it would be to bring these people back and show everybody, well, there's this guy, here's his name, here's what he's done, and they're not doing it. So there's been some misrepresentations along the way. Pam Bondi says that 2 courts have ruled that Abrego Garcia was part of MS-13. Absolutely false. All that happened is he had his bail denied, where the government has no burden of proof. A cop said he spoke to somebody, an anonymous source that's supposedly reliable. That cop was suspended shortly thereafter for trading sex favors for information. And that's it. And the unnamed source supposedly said, well, he's part of a MS-13 clique, only that clique operates out of Long Island and he lives in Maryland. So it's anonymous double hearsay. It would never go anywhere in court. And all that happened is a judge gave the benefit of the doubt to the government and denied him bail, and an appellate court said okay. But when he went to his hearing, he won. He won an order that said you can't send me to El Salvador. It's very hard to win that order. He couldn't win asylum because he was about 5 years too late. But it's black letter law. You can't get that order unless you prove you're not a threat. And the other big misrepresentation, when you hear Marco Rubio say, well, the reason we sent Venezuelans to El Salvador is because Venezuela wouldn't take them back. False. They were flown out hurriedly on March 15th. Venezuela had only stopped taking migrants for 5 days. They were annoyed. The administration took away an export license that allowed them to sell oil around a sanction. But on March 13th, it was widely reported in the media, handshakes between Maduro and our emissary. That situation was resolved. Flights were supposed to start the next day, March 14th. Venezuelans back to Venezuela. Rubio gets in touch with Bukele. They dream up this proclamation about the Alien Act, alien criminals, that these are really Venezuelan people sent here to wage war on us. That was set up on the 14th. It was only posted on the 15th. And that's when they flew them out of there hurriedly. So the reason they were flown out hurriedly is because they weren't the worst of the worst. So there's a lot of disinformation. I heard a reference to a website that has different, you mentioned different platforms. You mentioned Washington Post. If you want to see a deep dive on this, look for a Washington Post article. It's either 24 or 48 hours. The scramble before these migrants were flown out against court order to CCOT in El Salvador. And you'll see the minute-by-minute expose about how this was done illegal. So that's just one area as a lawyer I wanted to touch on, because it is offensive to me as an attorney to constantly hear even lawyers, highly placed lawyers like Pam Bondi and Marco Rubio, endorse absolute lies that have no evidence behind them. And we have to constantly push back. And when people just keep talking and talking, they're terrorists, they're mutilators, they're murderers, just say proof. That's all. That's how it's affected me. Thank you.
Can you hold up? Sorry, sir. You have it forever. Right?
Let the say real thing.
What's these crabs?
Generation American, granddaughter of immigrants who came to this country to flee fascism in the early 20s from Eastern Europe. And I don't know how people are forgetting where we come from. I don't understand it. In my job, I hear people, families that came here in the 1600s, 1700s, but they still came here. So I don't understand, and I can't abide by the attacks on people who are coming here to seek the same thing that my family sought when they come here. And growing up with
my grandparents, and I talk to folks from my generation, and we talk about how much my grandparents and everybody's grandparents spoke about what they went through under a fascist rule. And it sounds exactly like what's happening now. And their appreciation for democracy happened from the time I was born, to understand the rights that we have in this country and not to give them up. So that's why, for me, it's important to stand up and speak out. Okay. My name is Judy Loeb. As you can see by my hat, I'm part of an organization called Seniors Taking Action. I see a few seniors here. We've been working for over 5.5 years to help elect Democrats and progressive candidates, but the situation has deteriorated so badly under this new administration that our efforts now are directed to finding other senior groups around the country. We've already found 16. We are uniting under the name We the Seniors. We are going to appear on a Robert Hubble podcast. It's live stream. So I just wanted to say, if anybody here is part of a senior group, please let me know. Also, you can check out the Seniors Taking Action website at seniorstakingaction.org. We would love to have your help. Thank you.
Awesome. My name is Catherine Stahl, and I live in Springs. And I just want to talk about the other side of the senior perspective, which is that Paloma said to me that the majority of the people involved in their group are younger people under 30. So I think we can learn something from how they're reaching out. When she said she started with a Reddit post, I realized I was out of my league and I needed to talk to my grandchildren who use Reddit, even my children who use Reddit. So I do think we have spent the last 3 or 4 protests thinking about how do we get young people involved, and especially out here. And school is ending, so I can't reach out to history professors, but maybe they have ideas. And if any of you have ideas, we really welcome them, because I think all of us I feel with my children that I have time that they don't have as they're raising families and working. But I also want my grandchildren to understand something that I think is hard for them to understand. The oldest are 21, that it isn't necessarily going to continue the way their life has been. Some of us have been in a situation where we protested a lot before, and I think we need to help younger people understand that their voices are really, really important at this time. So if any people have ideas about that, we're very open to read.
Hi, I'm Gary Pedersen. I'm from Springs. I'm a retired educator, and I'm a proud retired educator. Why am I here? I'm here because of Dylan from Venezuela, who has been detained this week by ICE. I'm here for the other students who have been similarly detained. There's a fear that is prevalent in our society, in public education. Think about our educators. We've had educators who have been taken as well. That's one of the reasons I'm here. Why else? Because we have to think about the elimination of Social Security offices, the cuts to Medicaid, to Medicare, and everything in between. Let's work together. I know we can. Thank you.
My name is Wilma Cordero. I also am a retired educator. I happen to speak Spanish, and I had an incident yesterday that I wanted to share with you. I went to one of the local nurseries. I needed something for my garden. And the woman who was checking me out, somehow I wound up speaking to her in Spanish, and she became thrilled when she realized that I could converse with her. She told me she's been here 3 years, and she wants to improve her English. And I said, well, I'm sure you can go to the library or the local schools and have free English classes. She said, I'm afraid to do that, because I'm afraid I'll be picked up. I'm not here legally. And my heart just went out to her. And I think we have to look here in the community and find ways to protect local people who are here because they need to be here. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Want to sing for us again, Emily? That was lovely. Thank you. You need your proper mic for that.
Down demons before you found depths within that heart of yours, that heart of yours. When your mind feels on fire from the constant stream of ire, when your bonds are feeling frayed, just remember how you're made. You can drop down to your knees, you can kick and scream and plead, you can reach for your worst vice, even though you'll pay the price. But you know you are strong, even when the road feels too long. You stared down demons before you found depths within that heart of yours, that heart of yours. There is nothing you can do.
Hello, thank you for coming. Thank you all for coming. We will see you again on the 14th of June. We'll do this again and keep on making ourselves heard. Everybody, democracy needs all of us. All of us. Thank you. And then Evita.
You're made, and you know you are strong, even when the road feels too long. You stared down demons before you found depths within that heart of yours, that heart of yours. That's an original called Your Deep Heart. We'll get through this, right?